feel like a king, oh yeah. Baby, can't help but stare. Such a rush, baby. Oh, when you touch me, baby. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. You're listening to Viva ENT in Seattle. This is your host, Johnny the Capo, and I am here with a couple of my co-hosts today. First of all, we have Miss
Takia Maleka
and Mr.
Brad Buckles.
And the greatest producer in all of Washington.
I don't know about that, but it's Eric C.C. Ryder. Good afternoon, everybody.
Eric C.C. Ryder.
You know, I put some serious thought into this over the last week.
Mm-hmm.
He goes by Eric C.C. Ryder.
Yes, sir.
I want to be Eric B.B.
Okay.
I thought about that. I'm
How
like,
about-
C.C. Ryder. Man,
How about
that's
Brad B.B. Buckles?
Okay, there you go. I thought about Eric C.C. Ryder. Man, that is a cool name.
Yeah, I gave it to him.
That's cool.
Yeah, it is a cool name.
Eric C.C. Ryder. How did that come about?
Well, basically, I don't know how to... Oh, because of the last name Ryder.
Yeah, my name is Eric Ryder, and
Right.
he loves the song C.C. Ryder, so
There you go.
easy does it.
I just figured maybe that was the song that you are
C.C. Ryder.
characteristically doing on Friday nights or something.
No, but we do use it for bumper music quite a bit on
Okay.
this show, so
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. We use the intro to C.C. Ryder quite a bit, right?
yeah.
I
And
said
now-
C.
And now you know.
So now...
Knowing is half the battle.
There you go.
Hence day forward, it's going to be Brad B.B. Buckles.
There we go. B.B.
Brad to the B.B.
All right.
I want to thank last week's interesting guest, Robin McNamara, for being on the show. He had some great stories. He was in Hair. He had a hit record that was quite infectious in 1970.
Lay a little love on me. I
Lay a
believe
little
it
lovin'
was.
on
Yeah.
me.
That was
Honey-
kind of a catchy tune.
Catchy.
That
Yeah.
was
took
an
a-
earworm.
Yeah.
A couple of days to get out of my system.
Yeah.
Yeah. And everybody around you, after you sing it like a million times, especially me.
And my wife was like, "Where did this come from?"
Little-
It's kind of a cool song.
Yeah, it is kind of cool.
And then, of course, his big role in Hair.
Right.
Like half of his career was basically dedicated to music and Broadway. And
Yes. And plus, he's a big Presley fan, which fits in good on our Viva ENT.
yeah, there's that.
Actually wrote a song in tribute to Elvis and John Lennon.
And
so he
John Lennon.
totally
Yeah.
bridged the gap between Johnny and Brad. It
BB,
was,
yeah.
it was a magical thing.
King and Prophet.
The King and the Prophet.
That's right.
Yep, it was kind of insightful.
Yeah, I take it that he favored Lennon over the rest of the Beatles.
I'm going to guess that, yeah.
Yeah. And
A lot of people do. I actually favor Paul, but
Uh-huh.
I'm kind of a Paul fan.
You know, it's kind of trippy that the two of them are actually kind of in a rival type situation. You have the Beatle fans that like Lennon better, and the Beatle fans that like McCartney better. I'm right in the middle myself, though I do really love Lennon, and I really do love McCartney. So I would say I'm really stuck right in the middle.
Well, I think Lennon-McCartney was a great duo. They obviously found a lot of success in the industry,
No question.
but Lennon didn't make it so long with us. So,
Right. And
Unfortunate.
that was a shame, boy.
yep, that was
I-
a big day.
I remember that night I was out partying that night, and I was listening to the radio, and man,
What a day.
he just had that song out too, Starting Over. It was out at the time too, when that night happened, and you know it was nice to see Lennon with a nice hit record on the charts again.
Doing his thing.
Yeah,
Yep.
it was.
And that was definitely like a throwback to his rock and roll roots, you know, the 50s kind of sound that he started with, I think.
Yeah, Starting Over, actually, the little chorus line in there, the little bridge, quite kind of sounded like "Don't Worry, Baby" quite a bit.
Yeah, a little
Beach
bit.
Boy
yeah.
type, Beach Boy type thing in there.
Well, they always said he was infatuated with rockabilly. That was
Oh,
one
yeah.
thing that
Oh,
he really got turned on. When I was in England, I got a chance to go over to his house where he was raised with his aunt, and they were talking about back then how he just couldn't have enough rock and roll. That
Yeah.
was just one of the things that really caught his attention.
Yeah, big Elvis fan. John Lennon was a big Presley fan.
Well, speaking of rock and roll, guys with great stories about the golden age of rock and roll.
Our guest today.
Friend of the show, I think, at this point.
Yeah, he's been on at least 3 times.
Yeah, Nino Tempo, who's been on, as you say, at least 3 times. This is actually an encore, the best of Viva ENT.
That's correct.
Because we just had such a great time talking to Nino the last time he was on. We thought we'd share this one again.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, for our listeners, Nino dated Cher before Sonny.
That's true. It could have been Nino and Cher.
So he was knocking on the door. Hey, Cher.
There's that, and he's got so many relevant stories. I mean, to hear him talk, he just goes on and on and on and on about the music industry.
I'm saying. So now we have, thanks to Robin McNamara for last week. This week is going to be a repeat performance of Nino Tempo. And then let's talk about the Tacoma Wedding Expo, man.
We got the Tacoma Wedding Expo next weekend at the Dome, the Tacoma Dome. We've got bridesclub.com selling discount tickets online right now, and they're moving fast. The spring show's a big show this year.
Oh, yeah.
And these discount tickets will not last. You need to go on bridesclub.com, download the 3 for 2, what we call the $33 special, and make your plans on being down at the Tacoma Dome Saturday morning at 9:30.
Yes, and Viva ENT will be broadcasting live from the Dome.
There is that. We'll be talking to all the different vendors about who they are and what makes them special, and a whole bunch of specials that happen during the show, only at the show. And that's always worth tuning into.
Our new featured DJ, Takia, will be there working in the Viva Productions booth. Takia, tell our listeners about you and your background in fashion, and tell them a little bit about your fashion camp that's coming up.
Well, all right. So,
did I say that right, fashion camp?
Fashion Camp Seattle.
Like you're going to sew up my finger or something?
No. No, we're not going to do that. Sewing through fingers.
Fashion.
Fashion. I've actually sewn through a finger before, and believe me, it's not a good look.
If you look at my finger, because mostly everybody knows I had an accident with my finger, I have stitches through the nail.
Yeah.
Oh. That means that when she was stitching me up, she got that nail and went right, the needle, and went through my nail.
And just so we're clear, we're talking about your finger connected to your hand.
Yes.
Where you had a little accident last week.
How did this happen again?
He was being a DJ and being a sloppy one at that. And a speaker he pulled fell right on top of his finger.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'll split it in half there, baby.
Ouch.
So anyway.
Yeah, I got the phone call. You're gonna have to go to this gig
without me.
Without me.
Actually, I shouldn't say a sloppy one. I should say a sloppy roadie.
Yeah,
that's why DJs shouldn't be roadies.
Yeah, I guess so.
Anyhow, it's getting better. I think you got a few thank you notes and love notes along the way.
I did.
It was quite the subject on Facebook, and Johnny's finger reportedly is going to be just fine to play the guitar in about 6 months when Johnny and the Bad Boys decide to come back.
I hope 6 weeks. I hope 6 weeks. Anyway, I didn't mean to take Takia's thunder. Go ahead, Takia.
I know, just stealing my shine.
I'm stealing your
Fashion Camp Seattle.
Fashion Camp Seattle. So my background is apparel design. Have been passionate about it for life. Have a degree in it. I've had a few lines out, but my newest baby is Fashion Camp Seattle that I have with a friend, Kiara.
Oh.
And it's, traditional crafts all bundled up into a camp where we're learning sewing, we're learning fashion, we're learning styling, we're learning how to represent ourselves within our own identity and fashion for ages 8 to 14 and launching this summer. So go to fashioncampseattle.com, check us out, shoot me an email, give me a call.
Okay, so we have fashioncampseattle.com. We have bridesclub.com with the Tacoma Wedding Expo coming up on the 25th and 26th of March. And I'm pretty sure, Brad, those booths are pretty sold out. You got a couple left.
I always got a couple left.
Cool.
Anybody that wants to play, give me a call.
That's right. So, and vendors out there, if you're in the wedding business and you haven't done a wedding expo, you've lost your mind. You need to get over there, get a booth, get to the Tacoma Wedding Expo. Even if you're based in Seattle, you'll still get gigs down in Tacoma because a lot of people are not necessarily going to have their wedding in Tacoma. They may be having it in Seattle.
Yep.
So the show is versatile. Also, I got to talk about the Viva Diva Flea Market.
Viva Diva.
Viva Diva, April 1st at the Edmonds Lodge, 515 Dayton Street. downtown Edmonds.
There's a little diva in Johnny. Is that what you're saying?
I wouldn't say that, but there's always been divas around me, I guess.
Well, the thing that makes it's not really a flea market. It's like an antique show collection expo /
Everything.
open house.
Exactly, yeah. And it's going to be on April 1st, and of course we're going to have it the third Saturday of every month throughout 2017.
There you go.
So there you go. Viva Diva. Go to vivaproductions.com to get some information about it. Otherwise, it's going to be April 1st, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And vendors, we are sold out as of right now, so no chance to get into the show. But you might be able to get in May. So you can always call us at 206-276-7592, Viva Diva Flea Market. And we are going to hear a little word from our sponsors, and then we're going to bring on the fabulous Nino Tempo.
Is your vehicle needing some attention? Take it over to Maddie's Tuning and Shoreline for fast, affordable car care. Trusted, professional. Maddie's services all makes and models and has been trusted in the Puget Sound for almost 60 years. Call Brian Maddie at 206-364-3347 or stop by his convenient location in Shoreline right on Aurora at 152nd. Maddie's Tuning. Call 206-364-3347. Trusted for almost 60 years to keep you safe and on the road.
Attention business owners. Experience a new world of business with barter. The Saturn Barter Company, located in Tacoma, is one of the most beneficial business decisions you can make. Using Saturn Barter, you are able to sell your products or services to other members of the exchange. You can then use that credit you've built up from your sales to purchase the products or services you or your company needs from other companies within Saturn Barter, all without the use of cash. Contact and join Saturn Barter Club today, 253-212-9930, or online at SaturnBarter.com.
This is Johnny the Gangster with Viva Productions, King of Entertainment, one-stop shop for all your entertainment needs. We have DJ service for weddings, corporate, and private events. Thrill your guests with Vegas Nights Casino Party, blackjack, craps, roulette, poker, and more. We also have event photography and limousine service. Call Viva Productions, 206-542-5733, or find us at viva-productions.com. A little less conversation, a little more action, you got it. Call Johnny the Gangster. I'll make you a deal you can't refuse.
Brides, do you want your big day to be stress-free, perfect, and stay within your budget? Well, Brides Club has all the inside information to make your dream a reality. Go to bridesclub.com, that's bridesclub.com. See upcoming bridal shows and events, view wedding vendors and special offers. And don't miss The Spotlight, the premier online wedding magazine with valuable articles you can't afford to miss. Brides Club helps make your wedding stress-free and perfect. Go to bridesclub.com, check out bridesclub.com. Life's a celebration. Grand Event Rentals makes your event their top priority. They are your full-service, special event, and party rental provider, supplying everything you need from start to finish. Their professional sales team and event staff work with you to create your dream event. With every event, Grand Event Rentals customers' needs are the most important. Whether you're planning an intimate outdoor wedding or an elaborate black tie gala, the Grand Event Rentals specialists make great pride in providing our event planning experience to help create an unforgettable event. Please go and visit the Bellevue Showroom, Grand Event Rentals, or make a one-on-one appointment. Talk to them. They're trained, they're knowledgeable, they're event specialists, and they are going to take you through step-by-step everything that you need to make your day a success. Call Grand Event Rentals. Their number is 425-462-7368, or go to grandeventrentalslaw.com.
Dr. Amanda Wong and the team at Art of the Smiles provides comprehensive dental services at affordable prices. Their convenient location in Federal Way and their extended hours fits the needs of both families and working professionals. Whether it's transforming your smile through some of their cosmetic therapies or simply having your teeth cleaned, Art of the Smiles provides individualized care plans that address your priorities and needs. Visit artofthesmiles.com or call 253-839-4048. That's 253-839-4048 for same-day scheduling. Most insurance is accepted, from cosmetic procedures to implant placement, molar root canals treatment, or wisdom teeth extractions.
Broaden your horizons. You'll be amazed at all the topics we cover on Alternative Talk 1150.
And as long as my heart will beat, sweet love will always meet here in the deep purple dream.
Ladies and gentlemen, guys and dolls, cats and chicks, you're listening to Viva ENT. We're live on the radio in Seattle. I'm here with my great producer, Mr.
It's Eric C.C. Ryder.
the greatest talent coordinator in all of the world, Mr.
Hey, that's me, Jerry Osborne, and thank you for the nice build-up.
and it's a pleasure, Jerry, to have the gentleman that is our guest on our show today. I'm going to give you the honor to introduce him.
Well, I have done it before, and if I can remember my lines, let's see. Oh, yes, it's Nino Tempo, my good friend and a gentleman who is now making her third visit to our little show, and we're so grateful not only for the first two visits, but for this one, which I don't think will be the last. But anyway, welcome, Nino.
Good. That's a good one, Nino.
That's my Gene Autry imitation.
Well, it's not bad.
That
How you
reminds
doing,
me,
guys?
you know, when you do that, it reminds me of a record that came out circa 1958 by someone named Black Bart, I think, and
Oh, my God.
a cowboy story about a 145.
Oh, my God, you go back that far, huh?
Yeah,
He
and
does.
we could talk about some of these early things that you did too, unless we have something else more important. But I always find it amazing when people who become big stars, and it's revealed that they had other recordings earlier under different names. I always like to know that kind of thing, and you have a whole bunch of that.
Well, this Black Bart thing actually came because I thought with a name like Nino Tempo, it's so ethnic and so Italian, it wouldn't sound like an Italian cowboy would be right. So I came up with an alternative name.
Well, it was a great little story. I love the way that everything ties in with 145, and I thought it was brilliantly written.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Nobody else knows what we're talking about.
I thought so.
Nobody else knows what we're talking about. Let me give you some examples because I hate to leave people thinking, what are those characters talking about? 145 is the story of a cowboy who weighed 145 pounds. He also robbed a train one afternoon at 1:45 p.m. Then the sheriff shot and killed him with one black .45 caliber. And when they searched his pockets, they found all he had was $1.45.
You got it
And
correct.
his lady friend began to put flowers on his grave daily at 1:45. And it ended by saying that Black Bart will never forget that fateful day, not even if he lives to be 145.
Wow. That's pretty flippy.
Have I covered it all?
Yeah, because he was killed with one black .45.
Yeah, that's right. Could have been a hit.
You've got a great memory. You're doing better than I am.
Well, yeah, I'm not as old as you.
Hello, operator. Just disconnected. Yeah,
Well,
I'm getting old, I'll tell you.
Yeah, we're all getting there for sure. But you know, Nino, I remember very fondly of watching you and April on Shindig and Hullabaloo in that wonderful era. You know, you guys had the Grammy Award-winning song of 1963, Deep Purple, and then right after that came the British invasion. But you guys were still going pretty strong through that whole time. And do you remember the times that you did the shows on Shindig and Hullabaloo?
Oh, how can I forget them?
Yeah, they were great little.
Oh, they were terrific. And there was Lloyd Thaxton, too.
You're right, Lloyd Thaxton, right? Yeah, he was cool.
Oh, I loved Lloyd. He was a great guy.
Mm-hmm. So tell us a little bit about when you did the Shindig show.
Well, it was very exciting because they had all those good-looking girls dancing around, you know.
Right.
Hard to keep my mind on business, but we did it, and it was a great thrill because the Righteous Brothers were on and all that sort of thing, all the stars of the day.
Right.
And we felt that, well, we had finally achieved something pretty good.
You know, the thing is, in 1964 with the British invasion, the cool thing about Shindig was it was featuring the American artists that were coming, out of L.A. or that were from the United States, and you have the British invasion is okay, so on and so forth, but don't forget who we have here. We got Nino Tempo, we got the Righteous Brothers, and it was just a great little show. Glenn Campbell made his debut on that show. Leon Russell was on. Yeah. Have you seen those clips of Leon Russell on that show? It's very trippy, the way he looked with his hairstyle and everything.
When I first met Leon, he was playing piano in the sessions for Phil Spector.
Right.
He had a crew cut, flat top with all the sides all shaved.
No kidding.
And the metamorphosis that happened to Leon with the long hair and the beard was amazing.
I know. When he was on Shindig, he was wearing almost like a tuxedo type outfit, and he was wearing a pompadour. The Elvis type pompadour.
Yeah, right.
And the Fabian pompadour of the day, and he looked quite amazingly different. He didn't even look like the same guy.
Well, he knew. Leon was very much aware that you've got to look like what the people can identify with.
Correct.
You just look like an average Joe walking down the street, well, nobody really cares.
Right.
But if you look like something kind of out of a movie,
right,
then people can remember you.
I was fascinated because I've been watching Shindig on YouTube, and I was fascinated by his look. It didn't even look like him. And, for what he had evolved into, which, I'm a big Leon Russell fan, and I like the way that he made his transition, Mad Dog's an Englishman, the movie, and he got into a more hippie type, heavier type look. Mm-hmm. But it just cracks me up to see this guy on Shindig singing Roll Over Beethoven.
Oh, yeah. I remember I was in A&M Studios, and Leon and I were walking down the hallway together, and he started to look like that. He hadn't gone as far yet as he was going to go, but he was working through it. He said to me, Nino, he said, I learned how to take over an audience from Phil Spector.
Uh-huh. Interesting.
Isn't it, though?
Yeah, it's very interesting. Tell us about, Eric, my producer, and I, we want to know more about Cher.
About Cher?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you introduced Cher to... Sonny.
Yeah, he met her through me, yes.
That's correct. So, did you actually know Cher before Sonny? I mean...
Yes, I did.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying, did you know her? I mean...
You mean biblically?
No, I mean...
I'll tiptoe around this for a moment.
Okay, good.
I was at Martoni's restaurant, which was the Inn recording place in Hollywood.
Okay.
And I was there with my sister and Red Baldwin, who was the promotion man for Atlantic, and Bob Kornheiser, who was the sales manager of Atlantic.
Uh-huh.
And it was an empty restaurant. We were there in the afternoon. And Red happened to say to me, look at that great-looking gal at the bar. And me, being the cocky so-and-so I was,
right.
I said, you want to get her over here? Over and over. So I walked up to her. I wasn't quite as arrogant with her as I was. And I said, look, miss, I'm sitting over there with some people, my sister. I was sure to mention my sister.
Of course.
And Atlantic Records execs, and I wonder if you'd like to come over and join us.
Oh, my God.
And she said, well, I'd be happy to. So she came over, and we all sat there for about an hour and a half and chatted, and later she and I started dating.
That was the question I wanted to ask.
Yeah, we dated, and then Cher was actually in those days what she was doing was going around from club to club dancing in dance contests.
I
trying
believe
to
it.
win $125.
I believe that.
And I said, great. Yeah, I hope you win. She says, can you drive me?
Yeah.
Says, Sarah, I can't drive you because I'm going to Gold Star to Phil Spector's session. I said, Phil expects me to be there, and I'm learning a great deal, and he trusts my ears. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to be there from about 11 till about 4 in the morning.
Wow.
I said, I'll tell you what, after you get done dancing, wherever you're dancing, you're welcome to come over and join us. I said, the door's open, just come on in. She said, but I want you to drive me. I said, I can't take you because I'm going to go to the session. She says, well, I need a driver. And I said, Cher, I can't do it. Hope you understand. And I hung up.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
So I actually stopped calling her after that. And so one day, about 3 months later, Sonny Bono called me. And he said, Nino, I'm living with Cher now.
Oh, God.
I said, that's what I heard, Sonny. And he said, I got a problem here. He said, she still has some feelings for you.
Oh, my God, you're kidding me.
And I said to him, Sonny, I'll tell you what to do. Give her a little time, and she'll forget all about me. You know what he did? He gave her a little time, and she forgot all about me.
Well, that's probably a blockbuster story.
Do you remember the year of that?
I'm sorry?
Do you remember the year that this meeting took place in the restaurant?
Let me think. It was about 62.
Okay, so this was 2 years before she had any records out, really.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
I think they were 65, weren't they, Jerry?
Something like
Well,
that.
Baby Don't Go was out in 64.
No kidding.
Well, I actually got Sonny and Cher with Atlantic Records.
I believe it.
They were on Reprise, and they were doing a song called Baby Don't Go. You just mentioned it.
Right.
Baby,
I
don't
thought,
go.
they've got a good sound. So I told Ahmed Erda again about them.
Yeah.
And I said, that duo, boy-girl, that could happen also. So we started listening to him, and he signed them, and that's how they got with Atlantic.
The first time that I saw Sonny and Cher was on Shindig, and they were doing, Jerry, I'm sure you remember this, they were doing a 10-year anniversary, a salute to Elvis, because it was, his 10 years in show business, and Sonny and Cher were on Shindig, and they performed together Teddy Bear.
Okay.
And that's the first time that I saw him. Sonny had that big jacket on, and she looked quite different, for sure.
Yeah, they were called Caesar and Cleo.
Correct.
Yeah,
And
their record on Bolt came out as Caesar and Cleo.
No kidding.
The song called The Letter.
Very cool. Now, Nino, since you were the Playboy musician of Hollywood,
well, not quite, but
a little bit, because it's a good thing. Trust me. I
live in a condo building here.
Yeah.
And Cher bought an apartment in this building, which was right above me. This is about 5-6 years ago.
Oh my God.
And I ran into her one day in the elevator, and she was with a girlfriend.
No way.
I said hello. She was very nice, and she introduced me to her girlfriend. And then she said to her girlfriend, "He dumped me," which I didn't. I didn't dump her. I told her, "Hey, come and spend the whole night at the studio with us."
Wow.
But
she just didn't want to take the bus.
Her, and, we laughed about it, and that was the end of that.
Well, she expected to have a driver.
Sure.
Yeah, if I'd have been around, I'd have came. Anyway, now tell us about the night that you. I know you dated Dean Martin's daughter too.
Yes, I did. One night.
Only one night, huh? Dean wouldn't let you back.
I can't give you much history on that. It was just one night. She was a very nice girl. I must say that she was less than impressed with me.
Well,
And that's the way it went.
Well, it happens that way sometimes. Not everybody digs, the personality or whatever's happening. But
a cute thing happened with Dean earlier that evening. I went over to his house to pick her up.
Right.
And when I came in the door, the butler said, Claudia is not ready yet. Please wait here. So I saw Dean standing in the front room, and I had worked for him.
Right.
And I went over and said, hi. And he said, hi, how are you? I said, fine, Dean. I said, you've got a beautiful house. And he looked around and said, I wish I could afford it. So then later, when she came down, I went to close the door and say goodbye to Dean, and the doorknob came off in my hand.
That's incredible.
It fell off in my hand, and I said, hey, Dean, you weren't kidding about it, were you?
You could put it on eBay.
Well, like so many entertainers, even the biggest of all time, they all probably lived a little bit more spectacular than the money was coming in.
Well, it's so long ago, it feels like another lifetime.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It does.
Well,
Yeah.
we've had Dina Martin on our show about 3 times now over the last year or so, and of course she and some of the other sisters are not that close. You'd think they would be, but they're not.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, Dina has been fantastic with us.
Absolutely.
Well, she's wonderful. I get a Christmas card from her and her husband every year.
Yeah.
Wow.
I do too. John Griffith, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had April's been on our show too, Jerry.
Oh, yeah, I was going to ask you, how's April doing?
She's doing very well. Thank you for asking.
Yeah.
Thank God she's doing well.
Great.
Well, tell her that we will never forget how great it was having her on the show and that we said hello to her.
Let's get her back on, Jerry.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Good idea.
Good idea.
She's still in Scottsdale?
She does.
Yeah, okay, good.
So now, do you have any stories about Phil Spector or maybe Glenn Campbell?
Glenn Campbell. Did he play on any of your records?
How about practically all of them?
That's
Yeah,
what I
okay.
was thinking.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, Glenn was the number one call, a guitar player in L.A.
Mm-hmm.
before he hit it big.
Yeah, he and Hal Blaine.
Oh, yeah. Hal Blaine and also Earl Palmer.
Yep, sax.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had Hal Blaine on the show 2 or 3 times, too.
Oh, he's a terrific guy.
Yep, he is.
Yeah, I remember I called Glenn one time for a session, and that's right after he had a hit record. And he said, Nino, I can't do that anymore. I said, that's all right, I understand. You don't want to be becoming a big star doing sessions.
Well, it probably is his contract probably stopped him, right?
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah.
But he was a good guy, very talented guy.
You bet.
Did you have a chance, Nino, to watch the movie that they have done on him through his, what was the name of it, Jared?
Well, it was a CNN documentary.
Right.
Yeah, and it dealt pretty much with his illness.
Right. I Gotta Be Me or something like that. Or
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I did catch part of it, yeah.
Yeah.
Very sad.
It was sad. I think that maybe they should have maybe cut it off halfway through. But I get the message. But I really thought Glenn Campbell was the way he evolved through his career. He really was a great performer, one of a kind.
Yes, he was. He was that.
As you
He
too.
could do it all.
As you too, sir.
Thank you very much.
You did all those recordings that you probably not probably, but for sure you didn't really get the credit for. Nobody knew that maybe you played on those sessions, you played on those hit records,
Sax and piano.
Oh, yeah.
and gave probably a lot of.
Here's an interesting story. Phil Spector and I were very, very close friends for many, many years.
Correct.
And he used to love to come over to my parents' house for spaghetti dinner. Because you got a free meal. Why not, right? And so one night we had dinner, and he said, I want to show you what I'm going to record tonight. So we went to the piano in the front room, and he was singing a song for me. And to be honest, it didn't sound very good.
Uh-huh.
And he said, I know it doesn't sound very good, but it will. So about an hour later, we leave for the studio, and we go to Gold Star, and they're starting to run down Be My Baby.
And that was the song he was doing?
That's the song he was singing to me. And it didn't sound good when he sang it all alone. So we're in the studio, and, I couldn't hide anything on my face. If I like something, you can tell it. If I don't like it, you can tell that too. So as they're running it down, he looked at me, and he said, you don't like this. And I said, I'm bored. He said, what's wrong with it? I said, the drum part is monotonous. It's boring. And Hal was playing a straight, bum, 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 just a straight 4/4.
Yeah.
And he said, okay, what would you have him do? Now I'm on the spot. And I said, what I'd have him do is boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom.
Be my...
Boom. And he said, tell him over the loudspeaker. So I told Hal. He had it immediately, and he did it, and it worked beautifully.
Oh, yeah.
That was the setup for the whole chorus.
Yeah, that's a signature.
I didn't get paid for it either.
Right. I think that happened a lot with Phil Spector, maybe.
Oh, yeah. That's okay. I was pleased to be there.
Yeah, you actually, Nino, have had a wonderful, blessed career and a wonderful life to be involved with all those wonderful things that you guys did in those studios in L.A. I don't want you to say anything derogatory about Phil Spector, of course, because of respect. But I'm curious, was he always kind of like a little bit over the board crazy?
Let's say erratic.
Yeah.
He was always different, erratic, super bright. Maybe bordering on genius. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I know what a genius is, but Phil was every bit as brilliant as any kid. I think so too. There's nobody that will make me believe that Phil killed that girl.
No.
I mean, out and out killed her.
I believe that myself.
No, there's no way that could happen.
We're down to 1 minute, Nino. Tell our listeners how to access you, your Facebook. Are you on Facebook, Nino?
I am not.
Okay.
They can look up NinoandApril.com.
Very good.
NinoandApril.com. We're all over the place.
We're down to 1 minute. Thanks for being on the show, Nino. Jerry, who do we have on next week?
We have Dante of Dante and the Evergreens, who had some hit records in late 59 and 60 and 61. And that's the group that Tony Moon, who we've also had on the show, started out in. So that's going to be fun. And, Nino, thank you so much for being here. You're just such a great guy, and I love talking to you or even listening to you. Nino,
I love having you on the show, and I want to get you on every couple of months for sure.
It'll be my pleasure, guys. It's a great thrill to talk to you.
It's a great thrill to have you on the show, sir.
All right. You all be well.
Okay, thank you, Jared. We'll talk to you soon.
Yes.
And thank you very much for bringing Nino on the show.
Do that.
And ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Viva ENT.
Is your vehicle needing some attention? Take it over to Maddie's Tuning and Shoreline for fast, affordable car care. Trusted, professional. Maddie's services all makes and models and has been trusted in the Puget Sound for almost 60 years. Call Brian Maddie at 206-364-3347 or stop by his convenient location in Shoreline right on Aurora at 152nd. Maddie's Tuning. Call 206-364-3347. trusted for almost 60 years to keep you safe and on the road.
Attention business owners. Experience a new world of business with barter. The Saturn Barter Company, located in Tacoma, is one of the most beneficial business decisions you can make. Using Saturn Barter, you are able to sell your products or services to other members of the exchange. You can then use that credit you've built up from your sales to purchase the products or services you or your company needs from other companies within Saturn Barter, all without the use of cash. Contact and join Saturn Barter Club today, 253-212-9930, or online at SaturnBarter.com. Brides, do you want your big day to be stress-free, perfect, and stay within your budget? Well, Brides Club has all the inside information to make your dream a reality. Go to bridesclub.com, that's bridesclub.com. See upcoming bridal shows and events, view wedding vendors and special offers. And don't miss The Spotlight, the premier online wedding magazine with valuable articles you can't afford to miss. Brides Club helps make your wedding stress-free and perfect. Go to bridesclub.com. Check out bridesclub.com.
Dr. Amanda Wong and the team at Art of the Smiles provides comprehensive dental services at affordable prices. Their convenient location in Federal Way and their extended hours fits the needs of both families and working professionals. Whether it's transforming your smile through some of their cosmetic therapies or simply having your teeth cleaned, Art of the Smiles provides individualized care plans that address your priorities and needs. Visit artofthesmiles.com or call 253-839-4048. That's 253-839-4048 for same-day scheduling. Most insurance is accepted, from cosmetic procedures to implant placement, molar root canals treatment, or wisdom teeth extractions.
Life's a celebration. Grand Event Rentals makes your event their top priority. They are your full-service, special event, and party rental provider, supplying everything you need from start to finish. Their professional sales team and event staff work with you to create your dream event. With every event, Grand Event Rentals customers' needs are the most important. Whether you're planning an intimate outdoor wedding or an elaborate black tie gala, the Grand Event Rental specialists make great pride in providing our event planning experience to help create an unforgettable event. Please go and visit the Bellevue showroom, Grand Event Rentals, or make a one-on-one appointment. Talk to them. They're trained, they're knowledgeable, they're event specialists, and they are going to take you through step-by-step everything that you need to make your day a success. Call Grand Event Rentals. Their number is 425-462-7368, or go to grandeventrentalslaw.com.
This is Johnny the Gangster with Viva Productions, King of Entertainment. One-stop shop for all your entertainment needs. We have DJ service for weddings, corporate, and private events. Thrill your guests with Vegas Nights Casino Party, blackjack, craps, roulette, poker, and more. We also have event photography and limousine service. Call Viva Productions, 206-542-5733, or find us at viva-productions.com. A little less conversation, a little more action, you got it. Call Johnny the Gangster. I'll make you a deal you can't refuse.
Get your daily dose of variety. Alternative Talk 1150.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Viva ENT.
We're trying to listen to Viva ENT.
I can't believe you dance like that in public.
I didn't know I was in public.
You got to dance like no one's watching.
Well, the pop music.
That's true.
Right?
There's some truth to that.
Well, first of all, I want to thank Nino Temple for being on the show again, and we're going to get him back on again. Those are great stories that we had. This is Johnny the Capo. I'm here in the studio with Takia, Brad, the greatest producer in all the world, Mr. CC Ryder, Eric CC Ryder, and my co-host BB.
I'm back.
B to the B.
B to the B. I'm okay with that.
I like B to the B. So now we're going to talk about one of my favorite subjects of all time, pop music. Now, yes, and it makes me dance.
Hey, we got to get that guy on the show sometime.
Yeah,
That'd be kind of fun.
M.
That
was his one big hit was pop music back in 1979. But it was a massive song. And,
yes, great song.
Love to find out what that guy's doing these days.
Yeah, we should talk to Jerry, but he might be a little. Jerry's got most of the guys from the 50s and the 60s.
Sure, but we could change it up every now and again.
I would love to. Yes.
Speaking of changing it up, one of your best subjects ever, top 20 music.
Oh,
Today's music.
Oh, yes. I would love to get into today's pop music. Pop music is a cue. Pop music from, I guess, music started becoming popular in the 40s.
Yeah. I don't know that I would call that pop music, but I guess of the day.
At the time, that was the popular music of the day, and pop music is pop music.
Well, music has been popular since the dawn of time,
of
really.
Course.
But, once the recording device became available, once Edison created the record player or record recorder, people have been recording music since then.
So basically...
And it's been popular since then, I should say.
Starting out probably with Rudy Valley and Bing Crosby, and of course going into Frank Sinatra and the big band days. That was pop music from the very beginning of recorded music that was being played on radio. So then we got into the rock and roll era with Elvis, and then the Beatles grabbed the football and took off with it in the 60s.
Bing Crosby probably the first superstar of recording.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Bing Crosby influenced Dean Martin and Sinatra and Presley and those that were listening to him when they were kids.
Right.
And the Beatles were listening to...
and born in Tacoma, Washington.
Really?
Yeah.
Bing Crosby?
Yeah.
No,
you can still walk by the house where he was born.
No, that's very interesting. Didn't know that. So see that? Pop music, baby.
Hey, there's another one, Casey Kasem.
Casey Kasem, I used to listen to the show every week. When I used to come on Saturday morning, early in the morning. His show was great. He's from Washington,
Gig Harbor.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
born and then passed away.
So the Northwest has always had ties.
Yes, to pop music.
To pop music, to rock and roll.
Quincy Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah. The producer of Thriller. So anyway, pop music, for instance, I dig pop music. I like the music of today. However, I got some statements about the top 40 music that is played on popular music now.
Here we go.
I understand that in the 50s, all the male artists sounded like Elvis. In the 60s, all the bands sounded like the Beatles, whether it was the Knickerbockers with Lies or to Chad and Jeremy or Peter and Gordon, all those cats, Herman's Hermits, they all were Beatle clones. I get it. But now today's music is really in that same bucket too, because all the, if you tune in to top popular radio stations today, and you tune in, especially the male vocalists, and correct me if I'm wrong, CC Ryder, but these cats all sound the same. With the auto-tune, it's all slow pop. The music is slow. The phrasing, what the heck is this phrasing called where they sound like little kids?
I guess I'm just not listening to the same stations that you are, because I'm not sure about that.
There's a couple of different kinds of charts today that they didn't have back then. I mean,
Right.
we've always had R&B, right?
Correct.
R&B can be very popular nowadays. You got the top 40.
Correct.
You got rap.
Correct.
You got country.
Correct.
You got classic rock. So they don't all sound the
Alternative
same.
rock.
Alternative.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the new popular music that's coming out right now is
Like
what I'm talking about.
the up and coming.
Well, the music that's on the radio stations today.
So I'm going to take it you're not a fan of Shawn Mendes.
I'm not real familiar with Shawn Mendes. You got a song that you could pull up real quick? Maybe I can.
There's a few Shawn Mendes songs that are out there.
I've heard them. I think my favorite artist, of course, is Bruno Mars. There's no question about that.
I was going to say, you've been a Bruno Mars fan since Bruno came out.
I like The Weeknd.
Yep.
Drake, I can take or leave.
Drake, yeah.
Gosh.
You like Justin Timberlake?
Love Justin Timberlake. He is the ultimate performer. He's just like
Bruno
Mars.
Yep. Very, very iconic in their own way.
He's the complete showman.
Mm-hmm.
And I might add that these two great showmen all have an Elvis influence, because Bruno Mars started out in Hawaii as an Elvis impersonator.
That's true.
At the age of 5 years old.
That's true.
Justin Timberlake really digs the King. He's from Memphis.
True.
And he's got the influence of the complete package, the dancing, the singing, the performing. Those two cats are the best cats out there as far as I'm concerned right now. Takia, what say you? Who's your favorite male vocalist other than the obvious?
My favorite male vocalist?
Yeah, that's out right now.
I would have to go for Bruno Mars.
Ooh.
I love the sound of Chris Brown's voice. I don't like
Chris
all
Brown.
his music, but there's something about his voice that is phenomenal.
I like Chris Brown.
Yeah.
I got no kick against Brown.
Yeah.
That's it.
Funny how you put Kick and Brown in the same sentence. Sorry, I had to go there.
Yeah, his personal life
I
is
got
not
no kick
something we
against
can
modern
necessarily
jazz.
condone.
Well, it's just different nowadays. I mean, to be a rock star, I mean, you go back and look at a Nino Tempo, for example. That guy was class act.
Yeah.
I mean, those guys were incredible. They were gifted. They were gentlemen. They were well-dressed. They lived the life. They had the dream, and they were proud of it. They didn't want to lose it for any reason.
Yeah.
Somewhere along the way, that became, let's chase headlines and let's do things we probably shouldn't do.
Yeah, back in Nino Tempo's day, they didn't have Entertainment Tonight, and they didn't have all the tabloid magazines.
They didn't get paid what they get paid now, so they had to earn it.
They definitely didn't have social media, which I think makes a huge difference. I mean, 90% of the scandals that are out there is somebody typing something into Twitter while they are maybe slightly inebriated or even just in a bad mood or something.
Or just trying to do it on purpose to
Right, or trying to generate headlines. So, who knows? Elvis could have fumbled back in the day if he had Twitter.
I'm sure he would have been all over
His career could have ended pretty quickly.
Well, he was known to be a little
maybe
fast
it would have been
and wild.
even bigger.
Yeah,
Well,
he'd have been a little fast and wild.
I think he shot 17 TVs out in a 3-week period, if you remember what
Right.
we were talking about that on the radio show. I'd say that's a little crazy.
He would be shooting like tablets now or
Yeah.
his iPhone or whatever because he didn't like what someone said on Twitter about him.
Exactly. Oh, yeah.
That'd be a few phones a night.
Yeah, he was always very sensitive about what they were saying about him, critically, especially, his music and the movies for sure. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is
there's a production sound that you're not real wild
that's
about.
a good way to put it.
You don't like the studio mix.
The studio mix and that particular sound that is just consistently consistent.
It's the sound right now.
I know.
And you're not cool with it.
I'm not cool with it.
It must register in a certain pitch that you're not cool with.
Well, here's my beef. The Justin Timberlake song "Can't Stop the Feeling."
Mm-hmm.
What a great song! It's got mid, highs, lows. It's got a melody line, and it's not repetitive lyric over and over and over.
Right.
And then it seems like they're doing a lyric or a couple phrases, and then they go into a falsetto and they come back, and then there's a little percussion and there's a little keyboard tacit, and
they come right back to it. It's a hook.
Right back to it.
It's a hook.
But give me a hook that's a hook.
Oh, I know. Well, that goes back to composition, and we could definitely discuss that.
Robert McNamara's song was at least had a hook.
It had a real hook. Yeah, and that's what makes it memorable. And that's why so many of these songs can come and go, and they just don't stay.
I'm saying. So we're down to 3 minutes. Takia, jump right in here. Tell us what you think about pop music. Are you cool with pop music today?
I'm kind of stuck in high school, so I like the 90s hip-hop,
Oh,
the
cool.
90s R&B.
I like it.
That stays on my playlist.
But
And
good
then-
hip-hop is going to be memorable.
Yeah.
Well-written, good hip-hop is going to have its place in time.
It's legacy.
People are still playing Bust a Move at weddings and stuff.
Oh, yeah. What about Crazy in Love, the Beyonce song? What would you consider that, R&B or hip-hop?
Pass.
Oh.
That's R&B, isn't it? I mean,
I would say a little bit in between because she has a feature with Jay-Z in there.
Sure.
The beat is fire. Everybody was excited with her debuting that song.
I like Fire Burning.
She's got a great hook.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely. Crazy in Love.
See, and I'm more of a Destiny's Child fan. When they came out, I was like, wow. When Beyonce took off, it's like, okay, it's premeditated and probably predictable. But when Destiny's Child came out,
yeah, that was good stuff.
That blew my mind.
I still play Destiny's Child stuff at weddings and stuff.
Absolutely.
Bootylicious.
Yeah, that's a matter of fact. Bootylicious was a huge hit. I'm cool with all that, and I feel the same way about Beyonce as you do, Brad, because we've talked about it before. I was just bringing Crazy in Love out of the hat because it's got a good horn section in the beginning.
Yeah.
It's got a good melody.
It's just a great pop record.
It's a great pop record. So So you would consider it R&B, and it probably is R&B. It wouldn't be hip hop, I don't think. What say you, Takia?
I'm still saying it's a mixture.
Yeah, it's pop music. It's
pop
American
music.
pop music,
Pop
for sure.
music, but it doesn't have that same. Well, that's 10 years ago.
You know, that only sounds good when you see the body movements that Johnny does when he says that. Which there's a reason why we've all got a face for radio, but most of you will just never quite gather the whole point here when he starts dancing.
Anyway, what am I down to? 30 seconds a minute here?
Yeah, we got to wrap things up.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, next week, Elvis fans, the legendary Wink Martindale is going to be our guest on our show. And he's got great stories. His wife, Sandy's going to be on the show with him.
Personal friend of Elvis.
Personal friend of Elvis. Yeah. He was there the night they played That's All Right, Mama, 1954 in the studio. You're listening to Viva ENT. Thanks to my co-host, Eric C.C. Reiner, Takia, B to the B. We'll dig you now and see you later, because you are a fine sweet potato. Thank you so much.
I look so deep in your eyes, I touch on you more and more.